So, as I was going through posts earlier, I came across this post, which is about an honor killing that took place, a so-called honor killing, um, that happened in the Netherlands. Connected to that, there are cases of honor killings and things like that throughout Europe. And one of the articles that I pulled up that I would like to read, also, although I don't like to read normally because reading is gay, as Andrew Tate said, points out that there is a huge increase in honor killings over the last few decades. What they do not point out is, of course, that this has to do with the fact that there is a massive Muslim population rising in Europe. Surprise, surprise. Who could have? So, the thing is that the incident that we're talking about today is one where an 18-year-old girl in the Netherlands was brutally murdered by her brothers, and her father, and the mother was also in on it. She also agreed and said that she deserves to be killed and all that. The incident actually occurred not just now, but last year. But it just it just started sending shockwaves because more details came out about how everything occurred. The brothers are on trial, and they have revealed more information about what actually happened. The father now takes all responsibility and kind of wants to. He's a very good father, of course, so he wants to protect his two sons and tell the court and everyone that they are innocent, that they weren't in on it, that he's the only one who was involved in the killing. Very, very good father. Who doesn't want to have a father like that, who just really cares about his children? So that is what we're talking about, but we're going to go further into the trend, which has nothing to do with Islam, of course, of honor killings, and why and how they increase and why they definitely do not increase because of the increasing Muslim population. So I want to read a few articles about that. But David, why is it that it is so much associated, Islamophobically associated with Islam, that these honor killings? Why do people have this misunderstanding and the false impression that it's that Islam is somehow, that Muslims are somehow the driving factor behind an increased number of honor killings?
I'll probably need to repeat this multiple times because your viewers are just inconsistent. Some of them don't even show up on time, and so they won't even be hearing this, and then they won't know what's going on later, and so I'll have to repeat it. But honor killings can be just a cultural practice in various places around the world. So you can have non-Muslim groups historically that do honor killings and so on. But there's a reason that it's so hard to get rid of and in Islam, and why it's so frequently associated with Islam. So you have this as a cultural practice. If your daughter shames the family, you can restore your family's honor by killing her. And so your honor is restored. She brought shame upon your family. You killed her. Now your family's honor is restored. You say, well, where's that? Where's that in the Quran? Well, here's why it fit in so well with Islam and is now hard to stop, even when they move to Western countries and so on. The penalty for leaving Islam. So you got to put three ideas together. You put three ideas together, you basically have a blanket justification for honor killings, everyone, and you see why it's hard to deal with. One, the penalty for apostasy is death. And you did have some disagreement among the schools of jurisprudence, but 3 of the 4 schools of Sunni Islamic jurisprudence said that a female apostate is killed exactly the same way as a male apostate is. So 3 of the 4 schools say you kill a female apostate the same as you would a male apostate. So that's one idea. 2, you have the idea that it's not just people who officially declare, I no longer believe in Islam, and I announce that I'm an atheist or something like that. It's not just those guys who are apostates. Abu Bakr made it clear, if you just don't follow some rule that he lays down and so on, he's putting you in the apostate category. He's coming to kill you. And you find this in the Quran. Surah 4, verse 65 says that you're not a believer unless you accept all of Muhammad's decisions with no resistance within yourself, and you submit to all of his decisions completely. So notice, you're not a real Muslim if you do not go along with everything Muhammad says. Well, what if you don't dress like Muhammad says? What if you don't follow Muhammad's commands? Well, then you're not a real Muslim. So if you were raised as a Muslim and you recited the Shahada and so on, but now you no longer unquestioningly follow everything Muhammad says, you're actually an ex-Muslim. So you've got that. And then what you have is Muhammad said in Sunan Ibn Majah, carry out Allah's punishments even against your own family members. Carry out Allah's punishments even against your own family members. So put all those ideas together. If you are not dressing appropriately, if you're not doing things appropriately, if you're not living appropriately as a Muslim, you haven't fully submitted to Muhammad's decisions, you're actually not a Muslim. The penalty for apostasy, even for a woman, is death, and you carry out Allah's punishments even against your own family member. So what happens when my daughter is clearly not following the commands of Muhammad? Well, she's an apostate. I'm commanded to carry out Allah's punishments even against my own family members, and hence the honor killings continue because they go together.
So let's have a look at it. Let's see what happened. So there are several articles. Oh, here's still my Amazon tab open about Allah's 99 names, but let me close that quickly. All right. So
look at what happened there, man. What happened in that bloodline? Like, she's beautiful, and assuming these drawings are remotely accurate, like, two people of these three look like the product of 30 generations of first cousin marriage. The other does not.
Oh, she looks beautiful, and they look like inbred monsters or something. To be fair, genetics work that way. So, it could be that there is a huge line of inbreeding coming down that line, and all the negative effects skipped her, and the other two got all of it.
That's why they've been mad their entire lives.
Yeah. Like, we're such a beautiful sister. She didn't get all the inbreeding that we came from our wonderful ancestors, and we got it all. We got it all.
She didn't even get our webbed toes or our third arms on our backs.
Yeah. So, brother's drowned teenager. So, have to point out.
That's a rough way to go, man.
Have to point out this is going to be very graphic. Have to point that out.
That's a crap way to go, man.
Brothers drowned teenage sister in swamp in honor killing, court hears. Syrian father allegedly ordered his sons to kill his 18-year-old daughter in Netherlands after discovering she had a boyfriend.
She had a boyfriend.
That's the issue. Now, to the average Western person, this might sound quite absurd. Had a boyfriend? In Muslim culture, this is something unacceptable. Okay, it's like Muslims genuinely feel a Muslim parent, a Muslim father, a Muslim brother generally feels infuriated and uncontrollable for anger about something like this, about her having a boyfriend. If the discussion even goes further and the boyfriend is a non-Muslim or something like that, it's even worse. It's such a sick and disgusting idea. I can't even begin to describe it because it's part of the culture. You have to be part of the culture in order to really understand what the heck goes on in these people's heads. But it's literally. It gets to such a stage that that the daughter is seen as something like the possession of this family, of the men in this family. So if the daughter is thought to be in a relationship with somebody, and it doesn't even have to be a sexual relationship, right? If she's simply in a love relationship or something like that with somebody, this to them feels like their I don't know, their wives are being raped or something like that. And even worse, the level of anger and of disgust that they feel as a result of the indoctrination that comes from how Islam programs people is so big that they see this, a possible relationship, or even a girl of their family talking to somebody without permission, they see this as a gross and huge violation. And it also really goes to some disgusting levels. Like they're jealous of other men talking to their sisters. For example, my sister is mine. She can't talk to other men. If she talks to other men, then I will kill those men. This is how it goes.
She's only allowed to talk to our first cousin.
It's all really messed up. And Turkey, for example, would be I wouldn't say okay. I would say it's a milder form compared to some other Muslim countries, compared to Pakistan, for example, because in Pakistan you are basically most marriages are simply between cousins. Over 60% of marriages in Pakistan are between cousins. So girls don't just go out and meet somebody and talk to them and then start a love relationship or something like that. They wait for their families to arrange their marriages with a cousin. So it's not even part of the culture. It is not expected. It is not something that is considered in any way acceptable, that a daughter would go outside and begin meeting, befriending, and have close relationships, close friendships, and other things with strangers, with their non-cousins. We're joking about it, but there's a really serious element to that. It is completely unbecoming and unacceptable to them. So if a girl is now on her own and she departs these customs of simply relying on her parents or her relatives arranging her marriage with her cousin and becoming further inbred, if she departs those values and on her own accord goes and talks to somebody, that is used as an excuse, as reason to control her, to beat her, to track down the other guy and beat him up and threaten him, or possibly just kill them both, or at least kill her. So it is very, very much entrenched in the culture. And I'm lengthily talking about this because for a Western person, it is really extremely difficult to grasp, to understand this. It's it doesn't make sense, and it's just this foreign element. But these people in these cultures, they are really brainwashed into feeling this way, not just thinking. They feel this way. A girl of the family talking to somebody causes uncontrollable anger and fear and violence in these people, in their culture. And this is why it's important to basically to point out that that it is the ideology, the belief system that is behind this, right? It's not these people. It's not like they have a racial element that makes them act this way. It is that the religion, Islam, provides for and makes these cultures. It programs people in such a way that they think about women, that they think about girls in this way, that they are in possession of their own girls, and they are in charge of those girls, and they are supposed to take action when the girl goes out of line and all that. This is very common in Muslim culture, and you really have to understand it to understand it. There is also a hadith, which is, if I know the number, if somebody wants to send it to me, the link, I didn't think about it before, but where Muhammad, where a companion of Muhammad comes to him and says basically that if he caught his wife having a relationship with some other man, he would immediately draw his sword and kill them. And Muhammad then doesn't disapprove of it and doesn't say, no, we don't do such things, leave it to justice. What he says is he basically approves of it and says, all of you might be a little bit surprised about his jealousy, but I will tell you that Allah is even more jealous. So Muhammad himself approves of this conduct of somebody just taking matters into their own hands and killing somebody. And in the West we have a proper legal system and courts for a reason, because even if you think that such a thing might be justified, people can just if people are left to their own devices and left to take the law into their own hands, they can just accuse anyone of doing anything and then use the permission to take legal matters into their own hands and can just kill anybody based on false assumptions, based on false accusations. But Islam approves of this kind of thinking. Islam approves of this kind of acting. And Islam fosters and pushes and supports this kind of acting. This is what Islam leads to. Islamic culture directly comes with this whole idea of You are in charge of your own family, and you might kill them if you need to. That's basically what Islam creates in the world. And the women always suffer the most. All right. Anything else, David? Nothing? Okay. 2 Syrian brothers are on trial in the Netherlands, accused of murdering their teenage sister over her Western behavior. Western behavior. Mohammed al-Najjar, 23, and his brother Muhannad, 25, are alleged to have gagged, bound, and thrown 18-year-old Rayan al-Najjar in a swamp after discovering she had a boyfriend, which prosecutors claim brought shame on the family.
That's seriously messed up, man. Because when you see honor killing, I mean, you could always shoot someone or that's like a long drawn out process. You know what I mean? They're grabbing her, gagging her, tying her up, and then taking her to the swamp. She knows what's happening that entire time. And being killed by drowning that's already bad enough, but she knows what's happening the entire time. And they know what's happening the entire time. This is their sister, and they're rolling with it.
Well. Buhari 6842. That's not the one that I was talking about, Black Angel. It's about another one where one of the guys says, I would take my sword and behead them or something like that. But thank you. Their father, Khalid, is accused of ordering the honor killing and has reportedly fled to Syria. Rayan's body was found submerged in a swamp 6 days after she disappeared from the family home in Jure. The discovery was made by a passerby on May 28 in Lelystad, around 25 miles northeast of Amsterdam. DNA belonging to her father was found lodged under Rayan's fingernails by investigators.
Dang.
Suggesting that
she was fighting back.
That she had
her father was involved.
Before she was killed. Her father is to be tried in absentia. So he's currently in Syria, but they're going to demand his, that he's sent to Netherlands, extradited. Dutch prosecutors have claimed that Rayan was killed for having a boyfriend, behaving in a way that was Western, and had shamed her family. Her killing has been formally designated as an honor killing by the Dutch Public Prosecution Service. The brothers plead their innocence and claim that their father murdered Rayan alone. It has been reported that Khalid wrote 2 emails to Dutch media outlets saying his sons were innocent and that he was fully responsible. Such a good father. He's taking care of his children.
Yeah, think about what he did. So he left town, went to a different country where he thinks he can hide and not be extradited and so on. And then writes saying, oh, by the way, my sons had nothing to do with it. So
you can't judge anybody.
Yep.
You can't do anything to anyone. They had nothing to do with it. It was all me, and I fled. Scum. Absolute filthy scum.
What's crazy is they said someone found the body just walking by 6 days later. If these guys had thought more about hiding the body and making sure it's completely submerged and stuff like that, they may have never caught these guys. Even if they eventually realize, hey, she's not showing up for school, she's gone or something like that, we don't know. Maybe she ran off with a guy or something like that. These guys could have actually got. You wonder how many people actually get away with it.
Yep. That is true. That is very, very, very much true. It has been so, but prosecutors have rejected the claim that it was just him. They counter that Khalid ordered his sons to collect Rayan before driving her to a remote location and throwing her into open water while she was gagged and weighed down. Before her death, Rayan had been monitored by police and provided protection. But this was ended soon before her murder.
They realized she was in danger, left her with the family, protected her for a while, kept an eye on her to make sure no one did anything, and then stopped.
And that's when they killed her. Newsur, a Dutch current affairs program, has reported that Khalid is now in northern Syria and has since remarried.
Let me guess, cousin.
Probably.
First cousin.
The Netherlands has no way of securing his return. The Dutch Ministry of Justice and Security told the program the possibilities for criminal cooperation with Syria are currently not available, the ministry said. The criminal justice authorities required for this cooperation are not yet operational in Syria. Syria's own Ministry of Justice denied this, saying that the extradition system had been rebuilt. Minister Mazhar al-Weiss said that may have been the cause in the beginning when the case in the beginning when the regime had just fallen, and now the Syrian justice system has been fully restored.
We're about to see. Hey,
he
Syria,
added that the country
we have
was
a good test for you, Syria. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see if you're ready to not be a hellhole.
He added that the country was ready, noting that Syria has already received 3 legal assistance requests from European nations. We will provide the necessary legal assistance in accordance with the regulation. The Syrian minister also claimed that his government had never received a request from the Netherlands concerning this case, which I don't believe the Syrian government when they say that. It is estimated that police in the Netherlands provide heavy protection each year to at least 5 women at risk of honor killings. Reports from multiple countries indicate that honor killings and related abuse have risen in Europe over the past 20 to 30 years. I'm going to jump to
why. It's one of life's great mysteries, man.
Nothing to do with anything, probably.
Just random, just coincidence.
Random stuff. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. There is further detail. As you can see, this is her, and these are the brothers. Deformed ones. The deformed ones were all angry about her. There is more detail, actually, in I believe in the Dutch news. Body was found, gagged up, tied up. So here they actually go through some of the things. Wait, let me see. I think it was here where they talk about other cases. Okay, at least 5 women a year in the Netherlands are thought to need heavy police protection from suspected honor killings. And reports suggest such crimes have risen sharply across Europe in the last 2 to 3 decades. Honor killings are also scarily common in the UK, with previous reports suggesting there's as many as 1 a month. In 2017, Céline Ducran, 20, was claimed to have been tied up with a duct tape and a rope before being bundled into a vehicle, with the court hearing she was murdered for starting a relationship. The teen and a friend in her 20s were then driven to a house being renovated where builder Mujahid Arshid, 33, allegedly raped them and fatally cut Celine's throat in an honor killing. Rania Alaya, 25, was killed by her estranged husband Ahmed Al-Khatib for being too westernized in June 2013. Nazar savagely murdered her in an honor killing at his brother's flat in Salford. The twisted monster then spun a web of lies to her family and friends, posing as if she was still alive. In May, a man who ordered the murder of his niece in an honor killing sued the ITV over claims he also sanctioned her rape. Ari Mahmoud is one of 5 men serving life in jail for the murder of 20-year-old Banaz Mahmoud after she left an abusive arranged marriage. She was raped by 3 of her cousins before being strangled. Raped by 3 of her cousins.
Yeah, you imagine you're gang raping your cousin, and your religion convinces you that she's the bad one in all of this because she had a boyfriend or something, or she refuses to be in a marriage you want, or she refuses this or that. She doesn't do what you say, and you gang rape her and then strangle her to death, and your religion convinces you you're the good guys there who are upholding the family honor. There's a woman out in California. She doesn't want to be public about what happened in terms of like showing her face and so on. But she grew up in a Muslim country, eventually became a Christian, and her family put her uncle in charge of converting her back to Islam. So he showed up with a bunch of guys to gang rape her and said, if you're gonna be a non-Muslim, we're gonna treat you like a non-Muslim. So they gang raped her. Fortunately, she was able to get out of that country. She's in California now.
Man.
But we're Islamophobes for responding to this stuff, guys. We're Islamophobes for opposing all this.
He says honor murders are acceptable in his Iraqi Muslim culture, but rape accusations have destroyed his reputation. So think about it.
His poor reputation, man.
Poor reputation, man. Think about how sick this is. So they accuse her of damaging or harming their honor, as a result of which they take the opportunity and rape her, their own cousin, rape her, and then kill her. Rape her brutally and then strangle her to death. What great honor! Let's just admit it. Let's just say it that so much of this behavior is just an excuse to be horrible people, horrible individuals, absolutely horrible human beings. And of course, this culture and this religion provide a fantastic excuse just to do that. Just to do that. Musnad Ahmed. Let's see. 239 what? 32. I could have just looked it up earlier, you know. So very unprofessional. Incredibly unprofessional. Yeah. I'm sure there was a mistake. It's supposed to be 2393 or something like that. Let's see. There's something about some leather strap. So this is Islam for y'all. This is Islam for y'all. Okay, here's one version. Let me bring this up here. So Sunan ibn Majah 2606. When the verse of legal punishments was revealed, it was said to Abu Thabit Sa'd ibn Ubadah, who was a jealous man, "If you found another man with your wife, what would you do?" He said, "I would strike them both with the sword. Do you think I should wait until I bring 4 witnesses and he has satisfied himself and gone away, or should I say I saw such and such?" Mention of this was made to the Prophet, and he said, "The sword is sufficient as a witness." So he said the sword is sufficient as a witness to this case. In another instance, he said that it is basically okay to be angry and to murder your wife and the other guy in such a case, because Allah is even more jealous than you are. Because I am more jealous and Allah is even more jealous. We know very much about that. So honor killings. Here is Stop Honor Killings reporting about this last year. In the city of Lelystad, Netherlands, the body of an 18-year-old girl named Rayan Al-Najjar was found after a week of searching. The girl's family had declared that this incident was an honor killing. Rayan's 52-year-old father fled the Netherlands to Turkey immediately after committing the killings. Reports indicate that he informed his family members that he had killed his daughter and also disclosed the location where her body could be found. The brothers have also been arrested. This incident highlights the grim reality that even in countries where women enjoy more rights, migrant women continue to fall victim to honor killings. This event once again draws attention to the social and cultural issues related to women's rights in migrant communities, Muslim communities, and underscores the need for serious and coordinated efforts to combat such crimes.
Migrant.
If you want to tackle the issue in all seriousness, I mean, this is an organization that deals with honor killings, right? If you really want to tackle the issue, be honest about it.
Yeah, they can't, because then they'll be called Islamophobes.
It's a Muslim issue.
Yeah, it's just like when they talk about all the rape gangs in the UK and call them Asian grooming gangs.
Yeah, Asians, those Chinese grooming gangs.
Watch out! They're kung fu, man. They're kung fu.
Kung fu grooming gangs. They're gonna punch you. The Japanese grooming gangs. There was some correspondence that was reported between the family members, which is also quite messed up, because it shows that it's not just the father and the sons.
Oh, you're talking about everyone.
It's basically everyone involved. Let's see. Okay, here it goes into further detail. So, she was killed by drowning in water. She was tied up with 18 meters of tape, which contained the DNA of her father. This was reported by the Public Prosecution Services. On Friday, during the third preliminary hearing in the case against Mohammed Ain, It's actually Al-N. Mohanad Al-N Al-Najjar, who are accused with their father of the murder. Prosecutors believe that Rayan was the victim of an honor killing. The body of a woman from Jura was found by an employee of the Staatsbosirke in the water on Gardik in Leilstad. Her father's cell material was found under the nails of 3 fingers, the prosecutor said in the court in Leilstad. That indicates she had resisted. Results of the investigation show that the victim's shoes had to have been taken off before she was tied up, as her ankles were taped together, according to the prosecutor. Her hands were tied up behind her back. Her mouth was also taped. The OMS stated that the taping was done by Rayan's father, 52-year-old Khalid Al-Najjar. His DNA was found on several parts. The victim must have been restrained and so on. Both of her phones were thrown in the water. The phone cases were put in her shoes, which were also found in the water. The phone case found in the victim's left shoe contained a fingerprint belonging to her brother Mohammed, the prosecutor said. So that's how they know that they were all in on it. Prosecutors quoted conversations between the family members near the time of the murder. A conversation was found on Mohammed's phone between his brother and his father. Quote, "If she's lying and causing us to lose even more face, she must be punished." The brother said 12 days before the murder.
Said.
So in this case,
I have to say, glad they're dumbasses who left all this evidence.
Yeah. So she is accused of having a boyfriend. She denies it, but they suspect it further. So the idea is, if she's lying and thereby prolonging this and causing us to incur even more shame upon us, shame, then she has to be punished. She has to be killed. This is the conversation between her brother and her father. This is how they're talking about the girl. This is a sick culture that has no place in the West. No place at all. Nobody should say otherwise. Rayan's family felt that she was acting in too much of a Western way. Ooh. The OM claimed that her family was wishing for her death in chat conversations. I hope that she comes back in a box and she needs a bullet in her heart and poison in her body. Are quotes from the conversations. Rayan's mother, even the mother, the woman. God willing, we will see her wrapped in a shroud. Rayan is a disgrace to the family and deserves to die. This text is from her own mother. It's not just the men, you know. It's not just the father and the brothers. It's even the mother who says, yeah, God willing, we will see her wrapped in a shroud. She has to die. She's a disgrace to this family. She's a disgrace to this family. When I was young, I was not a whore. I waited for my parents to find a good cousin for me and then married. I never said hello to a stranger because I was not a whore. And she's a whore because she said hello to some stranger. She deserves to die. This is the culture you're dealing with. What the hell do you expect? I'm going to say it. You need to deport massive numbers of people to solve this problem. Deport massive numbers of people to solve this problem.
This part right here, as far as if it were this specific issue, it's not actually terribly difficult if people were simply willing to take the risk of being called Islamophobes, right? So suppose you're bringing in people from Pakistan or Afghanistan or whatever into your country. People think it's easy to beat lie detectors. No, it's not. You have to be very well trained to beat a lie detector or something like that. Very simple. Hey, you want to come to the country? You want to come to the country? We're going to hook you up to a lie detector and ask you a couple questions. If your daughter were ever to get a boyfriend or something like that, do you believe you should kill her?
Simple.
Just a couple questions. Do you support this terrorist group? Do you support that terrorist? But you can't ask those kind of questions. At least not in any way where you could get a clear, honest answer, because that would be Islamophobic.
There's also so some people have dug further into the details of the conversations and of the court documents and all that. So this is something that people focused on elsewhere, especially the Islamophobic circles. he focused on one aspect of it, which is that she was acting in a Western way. The family messages and statements suggest that they saw Rayanne's Western lifestyle, such as dating a Dutch boy, not wearing a headscarf, as dishonorable. So, a Western lifestyle including dating a Dutch guy and not wearing the hijab. This is a pattern that is seen very, very often. Muslim girl does not wear the hijab and is then killed for it. But the next moment you will be told, oh yeah, no, it's hijab. No, it's nothing to do. No, it's your own choice. It's your own choice, man.
Yeah, and by the way, think about how screwed up this is. You got people like Lily J, all these other TikTok female apologists, all these TikTok lady dawa chicks, and they're all, we don't have to wear the hijab. It's our choice. It's our choice, and we choose not to. We choose not to. We've looked through it and we've concluded we don't have to. And then you've got girls in other parts of the world, or even girls in European countries, and they're encouraged. They're encouraged in the dawa world to listen to Lily J and all these TikTok influencers and so on. And so, hey, I don't have to wear the hijab either. And it's like, and it's an actual death sentence in their family. Like, people are dying. People are getting killed